What's up, Blue Chips? How you doing? Friday night live stream is here. Let me back up a little bit. I'm messing with my layout a little bit here. Hopefully you guys are having a good Friday night. Hopefully you had a good weekend and New Year's. Man, my lighting is a little bit different. I got up to get some water after I just fixed everything, and now everything appears to be a little different. Well, how about we just get to it? So my name's Tim here at Volatility Trading. I will be your host tonight. If you've never been to one of these Friday night live streams before, typically we have a topic and we will talk about said topic. But every once in a while I like to do a free-for-all, and that's what we're doing tonight. Just kind of figured that a lot of people still wouldn't be back from, the holiday kind of mentality. Probably won't get too busy tonight, but just kind of thinking, just have some fun tonight. See what you guys have questions on, all that good stuff. Sue One Fresh, I see you. I probably would have said Soul Fresh if I didn't have our conversation earlier. So Sue, welcome. Ghost, what's up? Zishan, what's going on? Have a feeling we'll get a few more people in here, but as of right now, this is what we got. Just wanted to give a big shout out to all you subscribers out there. 1145 sitting there nice and pretty. I can't believe that we just wanted 1,000 subs. What was it? I want to say it was like 2 weeks before, and we were sitting at what, 967 or something, 973. It was like something around there, like around 970. And I was like, all right, we're going to get there. We're going to hopefully get there by the end of the year. And then look at us now. We got there plus some. We were, I think, at 1,100 by the time New Year's actually came and went. So am I ready for World War III? Seems to be the topic of choice. And I'm not too happy that I live fairly closely to Washington, D.C. because, Washington, D.C. might be the target for some craziness. But real quick, what I'd like to do on these is I'd like to kind of go over my trades that I had taken this week. So let me actually pull this up, my TraderSync, just to kind of look. So we'll start with, so we technically traded on the 31st. You don't think what's going to happen? World War III? There ain't going to be no World War III. Not now. Not over this. All right. WW. The fun part is I can usually go back to the date where the trade was and tell you exactly where my trade was without even really thinking twice. So in this case, I don't think I would have messed around with this, but if I did, it would have been right here and I would have been out right here. So let me double check the entries here. Looks like we tried this twice. Or is this, no, yeah, it looks like we tried this twice. So the first one was at 10:07, where we got in at 38.53. Oh, and then we got back in because it looks like we got out because it looked like it was going to break out most likely, and then we got back in thinking it was a fake out, and then it ended up stopping us out. So let's see. We'll find 38.53. So it was up here. Let's give the old draw a line. 38.53 at 10:17. 10:17? No, it was 10:07. That's right. So we got in here on this candle. I mean, I guess I could have just pulled the chart up, huh? Yep, it was on that candle. And then it looks like we tried to jump back in and it failed. And we were right about that. So I do remember that now. And it ended up going higher before eventually breaking down. So I remember not being too upset about that one, even though it kind of sucked. I know, but I just wanted to be the first person to ask. Yeah, I used to live in Maryland, a city called Riverdale. Riverdale. I feel like that's down south. Riverdale, Maryland. Oh, it's by University of Maryland. Or no, that's by DC. Yeah, by University of Maryland, right? College Park. So yeah, you're real close to where you don't want to be. I think obviously if it's a nuke, there's a lot of people within a general vicinity that wouldn't be very happy about the situation. Meanwhile, he's in like Utah in some bunker. I feel like we've had our troops in Iraq for so long, nothing's really going to change besides adding more troops to our base, which they already did, right? Or will they announce that they're going to do? Yeah, they added more troops and just attacked someone's second attack happened. Great way to start 2020. Yeah. It's funny because I don't know if you guys had saw that Trump had called Barack out in the past saying that he might attack Iran to try to get reelected. And then now look at him. I mean, obviously we're not saying that's why he's doing it, but because, I mean, anything that Trump says or has said in the past, it's probably going to look like a coincidence because he just talks so much. So I'm sure if it's something that is going on, he's probably already said it at some point. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the United States, I feel, is one of them places where you can be attacked by the United States, but you can't attack the United States. That might actually cause a world war. And how appropriate. We're on WW, World War. Sign. Love that movie. All right, on to the next trade. This was a really crappy week to trade. Like, let's close out 2019 and start 2020 on like the most losses I've had in a really long time. Like, seriously, let's go to our calendar. Like, if we look at when I started in February with this strat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 red trades, because most of these are all just one trade, because I don't really trade that often, so I can pretty much guarantee that it's just one. But then we take, I guess we won't count this, so 18, and then the last day. So if we go back to the dashboard, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have 1/3 of the losses we had from almost all last year in the last 3 trading days. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. But yeah, Billy, this thing just hates us. This stock absolutely hates us. So yesterday we tried twice and got stuck. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So here were today's trades. We got short on the initial opening move right at the bell. And as we were coming down, we were really looking for this to continue. We wanted the big move back down. We were actually looking to go lower than the after hours and pre-market. Because as you can see, this was kind of like a hangover type play where it had the big move yesterday. Then the volume kind of died off, also kind of fell down a little bit. So you're kind of expecting maybe a little bit of a pop, just for shorts covering. But then you're looking for people really just to kind of sell this thing off, at least down towards 20. That's kind of our goal, was to get down there towards 20. And especially because we only had a starter position. And I know live on stream, if you guys were there this morning, if you're here now and you don't know that we do Friday or do the morning streams, we do those. But I had to add planned right over 2170, and I had even mentioned it in the stream. Didn't get that 2170 pop that we were looking for to get our ad, which would have brought our average up much higher. And we probably would have taken some profit in this little bit of a wash because VWAP was right there, and it would have been a much better trade. But this ended up being a small winner when we realized that this kept getting bought up on these two candles. And so we jumped out and we were right. It eventually did try to go lower, and we just kind of forgot about it until over here where it started to run again. You guys know that I like to look for the extension away from previous resistance. Well, once it got through this 2170 area, we didn't quite get any kind of like real big push away. And when we got to 22, it just kind of hung out there. As you can see, it just literally consolidated. And I had told myself, if we go to the daily real quick and scroll all the way out, that we wanted to wait for it to get close to this 2270 area. That was the plan. And for some reason, I kind of faked myself out. But the reason I'm going to show you is because we had the big move up here, this huge candle, and we pretty much top ticked this. I got 2245, and it got to 2246. So we literally top ticked it because we hit the bid when we got in. And we were looking for this breakdown here, right? We were looking for it to come back down, at least test that previous resistance here at 2215. And I even said that on the stream. And of course, before we could get that, it had to come up and stop us out, because the rules that we follow are if it tries to pull back, consolidates and goes higher, we're jumping out, right? Because the odds are it's going to continue higher. Well, we got out at 55. We actually had the order at 51 for when it broke 50, but we got some slippage, and it got as high as right under 59. So that was frustrating. We pretty much top ticked the stop, but we can't be mad, right? I was looking to jump back in when it got up to that 70 area, right? We were looking for it to get up towards 70 so that we could jump back in, looking for that that daily. I wish it would show me the line. That's one thing DOS doesn't let you do, is expand the time or the price over this on this side. But we were looking to get back in at 2270 because of that resistance there on the daily, and then looking for the bigger move down. It didn't give it to us. The mistake was I didn't jump right back in once I realized it was done. Once it was going through 50, I should have jumped back in and risked off of high of day, or even 2270 again at that point. And that was the mistake. But I was so frustrated that it dropped back down right after, faking us out like that. I was just like so annoyed. So I ended up letting it go. And then, as you can see, it pretty much just died off the rest of the day. It obviously never gave us that huge move back down that we were looking for, but might be something we'll look for on Monday. Maybe get a little pop out of the gate and look to fade this thing back down. So that was a little bit frustrating. All right, let me catch back up real quick. But I hope I don't get drafted. I don't want to die. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to die. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there, but if they really wanted to die, they would die, but they obviously don't want to die if they haven't died. Don't kill yourself. Suicide prevention hotline, seriously. Or just talk to me. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Life is too precious. There's too many things in life that you can do besides end it. That just would be kind of silly. Today I wired money to a CMEG account. It's new account. Let's see. That's awesome. What hopefully you use the promo code so that you get the cheaper rates. Zishan 19 red trades isn't bad. You're right. It isn't. Just sometimes frustrating. And sometimes my losers, my emotions get to me and I let a trade get away from me. I was actually very impressed with my losses yet. I went 0 for 4 and stayed within my max loss. So I was actually pretty happy with that. Do I trade on TradeNet? No, I do not. This is CMEG. I do not recommend TradeNet at all. So even though Zishan uses it, I don't recommend it. I do agree with him though. It isn't that bad, but I don't agree with how they run things. That's all. But you got to start somewhere, right? If you're looking to get in to trading and you want to get one of their intro accounts and kind of mess around, then feel free. I have nothing against it. I just don't recommend it. That's all. Yeah, don't ask me about TradeNet. I have no answers. So sorry about that. If you don't mind me asking how much you're starting with, yeah, that was kind of why I had said that. If you don't have a lot of money, and yeah, so I'm on the same boat as Ali. Just got my Duster download from CMEG email. Money wired confirmed and activated. Hex, yeah. Way to go, Sue. Remember, start small. Start small. No reason to get carried away. Tom, I didn't hear it. Welcome, by the way. Did you hear it? I didn't hear it. I'll have to figure that out. Death is the only thing guaranteed. No, taxes. Death and taxes, right? They're the two things. The only two things guaranteed. Starting with 500. I hope you guys aren't getting on the Warrior Trading bandwagon. Don't believe that you can turn $500 into like 50 grand or whatever the heck he did. It's not going to happen. It's not going to end well. I was just telling somebody this earlier that when you have a disposable, basically unlimited amounts of $500 to kind of keep this going, to me, I kind of found it a little funny that it took him, 3 or 4 days to have an official day one of the small account challenge start. Take that for what it's worth. But yeah, a normal person is not going to be able to do what he did. So hopefully that is not your intention. Yeah, I don't know, Tom. I have to wonder if it even works on here.
These nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that it wouldn't. Oh, you know why? I bet maybe because I moved it. I moved it on my Stream Deck, so I wonder if it changed where it's at on here. Hence the no, I don't think it should have. Yeah, because it still has it's just the file itself. That shouldn't have moved. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I have to figure that out later. Why I'm new? Why what? Was it something about TradeNet? Like why I don't recommend TradeNet, or why that most people aren't going to turn $500 into 50 grand? Like what was the why for? I'll answer it. I hadn't heard anything bad. I already made my money back on it. I know that's all a bunch of scams. Yeah. I don't think TradeNet is a scam per se. I just they hit you with fees on the back end more than you think they do. They're charging you out the butt at the wazoo, and you're pretty much paying the spread at any given time. getting in and out of the trades. So there's that too. All right, next trade real quick. Oh yeah, Huya and Stein. Now, this was brought to my attention that I'm really bad at, like, I'll say Huya, and like if somebody's just kind of listening, they don't know what I'm talking about. Anytime you hear me say some weird name like Huya, Billy, Stein, or something like that, all I'm doing is giving a name to the ticker. I just basically take the HUYA because I feel like it would, I don't know, it would take forever if I'm trying to talk about a stock and I'm just like constantly HUYA, and I feel like I would mess that up a bunch too, or BILI. I'd rather just be like Billy. But maybe when I first reference a stock, I'll start saying the actual ticker name, like HUYA, and then I'll start calling it Huya or something, just whatever. But I do remember Huya. We jumped in on this candle. It pulled back, didn't get it, and we jumped out high day. I'm pretty positive. Let's give that chart a real quick check. Based off the entry price, that's exactly what happened. Yep. So we jumped in and jumped right out when it went high day. So nothing really there. Just a quick little loser. STNE, I think, was somewhat the same thing. I want to say STNE was up here. We couldn't have tried it up here because we wouldn't have lost. Maybe it was here. I'm going to guess it was here. Let's see. STNE. The heck? Why is there two covers there? Was it? Oh, this is the one where, I watched this back and I wonder if I still have it. Let me see. I do. So one. Oh, all right. Of course, the one thing I can't see on my screen was the sound. There we go. Okay, so let me go to STNE here. Guess that's going to take forever. Okay. So I watched this back a couple times, and if you watch me enter this trade, and there was my first Billy stop out on that day. That was kind of a sucky one. That was the bigger loss. Okay, so I got in here, and you'll even hear me. We're going to just start this. This is going to be kind of a right or right out as well. Did I start with 200? I don't know how 200 got in there. So I watched this back a bunch of times, and I have 100 in the montage, and you see I only click it once. I slowed it down to like 25%, and you can see I only click once, but somehow it executed twice. So that was a bit frustrating. It ended up costing me like $6 right off the top, or it was actually 7 after commissions, actually 8. And I was a little upset about it, but there was nothing I could do. It wasn't the trade that I really wanted. I could have just left it because I was going to cut it at high of day anyway when it went through 42.10. But I didn't want to let double the share size go through, so I ended up taking half off right there at 42 for a quick 6 cent loss, just in case it did rip up. I didn't want to lose an extra $10 because of a mistake, but it ends up breaking 42, I think, because it tries to come down and then it ends up breaking 42 of the whole dollar. So we end up taking it there for pretty much just a wash. But that was super frustrating. Yeah, 42.01. And I actually remember, now that I'm thinking about it, or now that I have it up, we got stopped out. Yeah, it was this right here. It went through right here, and then it stopped us out. Or no, where was it? It was right here. Okay. And then it started to come back down, and that's when it stopped us out, because it actually blew through our order, because we had a limit order and we didn't get filled. So that was kind of frustrating, and then it filled us on the way back down, but it ended up going up higher anyway, so is what it is. Huya. What? That's not how you say it. Ali, I'm using CMEG. I actually just did an updated broker review on CMEG. If you go to my YouTube page, so if you go to my YouTube page, it should be right up top. So you'll see I actually did 2 of them. I did one like a overall review of the broker themselves, and then I actually went through and they post their frequently asked questions. I couldn't really find it on their main website. So when you have an account, they have this section for frequently asked questions. So I actually just went through and read every single one of them just to try to help anybody out that might be looking for it, that's interested in CMEG. Did I trade IMPX? I did not. I believe this is a penny stock. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really trade anything under, to be honest, I haven't really traded anything under like $10 for the most part. And when I do, it's usually like $6 or $7. You watched it already. Then what you asking me for? Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. No, I'm not. What do you guys think of the layout that I got? You guys like it? It's a little bit cleaner. I figured the old blue stripe kind of running around it wasn't really helping matters. It was a little distracting. It was cool to look at for a little bit, but I think it just got distracting after a while. I like the idea of having the live chat up there. It's pretty cool. You guys can kind of come back, especially as anybody watching the video back, it'll be there, which is nice. That way they don't have to do anything special. Jason Ching, welcome to the channel, man. Hopefully you enjoy your stay if you are watching. My name's Tim, and I'm the one that runs volatility trading. Enjoy. I don't really. I was watching somebody else. It's at a 2% drink. Straight vodka, man. I just put straight vodka in a water bottle now. No, I'm intermittent fasting again. So I have to not eat after 8 o'clock. My window ends at 8 o'clock from noon to 8. And then I'm done for the day. So man, lighting is crazy. I don't know what's up with my lighting right now. You guys aren't even going to be able to see this. I wonder if my lighting would be good enough without this. Let's see. Kind of blend in a little bit more. So today's thing was do one thing today to get the ball rolling. So put this back up. It's better when I'm not trying to show anything. Fuck. I did this last week so many times, and it was pissing me off. Because I'm going to wake up the damn kids. What the heck is going on? I didn't change anything. Welcome to Friday Night Shit Show live stream. If you guys don't remember, or if you're new to the channel, pretty much every Tuesday and Thursday were shit shows. So I would be constantly, welcome to Shit Show Tuesday. Apparently my live streams are becoming shit shows. Tim eats eggplants and drinks balls. I actually almost grabbed the balls, but the reason I didn't is because I didn't want to break my thingamajigger. Is there an indicator on CMEG to know which stock is hard to borrow? Like how I was trying to short Sava and you were like, you can't. Yeah, let me, I'll show you. What is your diet? I just do if it fits your macros. But basically I try to eat a lot of protein and fat, mainly protein. I don't avoid carbs altogether. I just try to limit them. And to be honest, when I really get into lifting a lot, the carbs are pretty important because that's kind of where you get most of your energy. You want to just keep clean carbs. That's the idea behind eating carbs. So when you open up a montage, what you're looking at or looking for, I guess I got to pop it out first. So like BILI, Billy, I know that we could short that. See this little S right here? I could pull out my little circle thingy, but there's a S right there. And that means it's easy to borrow, which is you can short it. So something like IMPX. I know that we can't short that, and as you notice, it is gone. So you can, and if you click the where the S would be, it'll say symbol is not shortable. It's marginal by default, all that good stuff. So you can also, if it is not easy to borrow, you can come up here to trade, go to short locate, type in IMPX, how many shares you'd be looking for, and then hit inquire. So obviously it's disabled right now because we're off hours. But there's two different routes that you can get them from. You can check both and it'll give you a price. Now, this is a price per share. Typically it can range, so I don't want to give you a typically, but it's usually like a penny a share. So if you wanted 500 shares, it'd be $5. But on top of that $5, you would have to pay a $25 short locate fee, which CMEG charges you to locate the shares. So that's why I don't do that often, because right off the top, it would cost you $25 just to locate the shares. So until we're actually playing to where $25 isn't that big of a deal, you won't be seeing me try to locate any kind of shares. Don't you LOL fail me, Mr. Zishan. First off, eggplant isn't bad if you eat it fried. Eggplant parmesan. That kind of defeats the point of eating eggplant. But what was I think I lost my train of thought there. Wondering if Jason was even here. I'm actually kind of mad because I had set up too when somebody subscribes or donates and all that good stuff. Oh, that's what I was talking about, the layout. It was supposed to put like a mask over top of my face, like a random one, but I didn't really have time. I chose taking a nap over trying to figure that out before doing the live stream. So sorry. But yeah, if you do leave a donation, right under, I can't really circle it, but you see the little jar there. As you saw when he subscribed, it dropped a little volatility chip in there. But if you donate, it actually drops these little, I believe they're bronze, silver, and gold coins, depending on the amount that's donated. So that's pretty cool too. And I believe, is Super Chat a thing? I don't even know if I even enabled that. I'm not really after like taking your guys' money. It's only, if you do donate, I'd rather you do it through Streamlabs because they don't take 50% of it like YouTube does. But that's really just if you guys are really wanting to help the channel a little bit, then I'd appreciate it. I've always told everybody that any money that comes into the YouTube channel is going right back into the YouTube channel, and so far it has. So, and I have plenty of proof to show you guys. I got the green screen, got the mic, got the headphones, got the lighting. Pretty much any dollar that I've gotten from YouTube in one way or another, which I can't say it's anything from YouTube ad revenue because that just started. But yeah, and I can show you that isn't even that much. Let's see, raking in the dollars. But you guys, and if you don't know me, I'm like the most transparent person you're going to find in this industry. I show you guys anything that you want to see. I don't hide anything. I wanted to make a channel that no one else has, and that's basically a channel where there's no way I can be BSing you, right? There's no way. I'm not going to skip a day when I have a huge red day and then come back and act like it never happened. Like that, it's just everything from the day I started YouTube, you have seen exactly what's happened every single day. I show you my account number, show you my, I think I just showed it to you by accident. I wasn't even trying to, but I don't hide anything. Like my equity is always there to be seen. Pretty much show it every video. My TraderSync, my journal, that's there as well. So all that good stuff. That is DOS. It's through CMEG, but what you're looking at is DOS, which I highly recommend DOS. It's very easy, simple, and effective, and it's fast. What was that? Oh yeah, the analytics. Look at those numbers. Hells yeah, $12.51. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for a fact, but I think that they won't even pay you until you hit like $100. So I got a while until that happens. But yeah, this is DOS, the charting. And this isn't my usual layout. I usually just do this for the stream, but I'll go to what my typical layout is. So when I'm trading, this is what my screen looks like. I'll have 2 montages, 2 charts, and then 2 more charts with the dailies for that. What was the one? Oh yeah, Sava, S-A-V-A. Yeah, that thing went bonkers today. I think right around here, they actually ran out of shorts on most platforms as well. So I think that's what kind of caused it to go even more crazy. And I think, I'm not sure, I thought this was on SSR. No, that wasn't the one that was on SSR. There was a different one. I can't remember which one exactly. I watched a YouTuber say if you don't reach $100 in that month, it will roll over until you reach $100 the following month. Well, right. I'm not saying that they keep it. But yeah. I think Tom, I just saw what Tom said. I don't think that they make you sign up for a subscription on Streamlabs. I think Tom is just an interesting fella. Sorry, Tom. But I know for a fact, because I've done it, that you can donate and it doesn't make you sign up. I've done it for other channels to kind of give back, as well as on my channel, I've had people donate and say that they haven't had to. Because I actually asked somebody after that, no, you're not special, Tom. It's okay. Disney bought Spider-Man for $10 billion. What? Why? I mean, can you make 10 billion? I mean, I guess over time. So it was rumored back in October that this was happening. Are you sure it actually happened? Yeah, like there was a video on YouTube yesterday. It says, should Disney buy Spider-Man for 10 billion? So I'm wondering, I don't think it actually happened yet, but it looks like they're trying to. I mean, I guess over time you would probably make it back plus some. Plus, I guess if you're looking to make another movie, Disney would definitely be one to be able to make it even better. You think it happened? Well, I mean, I Googled it. Usually if something like that would happen, it'd be like one of the top headlines. But what do I know? I'm just happy that I got the chat to work, as well as the viewer count thing to work. That was a pain in the ass. It took me 2 weeks of researching on how to fix it. And it turns out that I'm just an idiot, because all I had to do was log out and log back in within Streamlabs. I was like trying everything. I was like throwing stuff at, the program, just all kind of stuff. And I couldn't figure it out. And then it was like some random forum post. It said, try just logging out and logging back in. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And so I tried it, and sure enough, it worked. I was a little upset about it, I'm not going to lie. So what do you guys got for me? Got any questions? I see somebody, Sam007. Not sure if it was because of the live stream, but if you are here, thanks for joining the Discord. If anybody's interested in joining the Discord, let me shoot that link down in there. It's obviously free. We don't charge anything. Maybe I'll charge in the future. Who knows? You guys don't know me by now. That was some definite sarcasm. Give you the big old thumbs up. That's the other thing too. I think everyone that's joined the Discord, I'm giving you the thumbs up in the welcome channel. We like to hang out in the general hangout. If you're looking for where we are, it's pretty much the only place we go. Got a bunch of nice. We have a bunch of nice channels in there. Some that get used fairly often. We got the get your trades reviewed, which is pretty nice. So if you want to get your trades reviewed, just post a chart and kind of ask what you're looking to get reviewed, and anybody that is willing to chime in to kind of give you their input, it's always nice. Halted stocks, news alerts. If you want to post your charts after you made a good trade, I stopped using that. I guess maybe just because I was kind of in a slump, so maybe we'll get back into that here in the new year. Anytime I find something educational, I'll usually post it in the educational channel. I need to get better at posting my YouTube videos and live streams and stuff like that, but I mean, not really too worried about those, but yeah. Blah, 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 blah. We do a lot of adulting in the general chat area. We do. Devin takes a lot of naps. Me and Tom talk about wanting to take naps, but it's, we end up not taking naps. So there's a lot of nap talking in there. And then there's a lot of funny BS type stuff going on in there. So what do you guys want to talk about? It is a little bit of a free-for-all. I kind of came in without a subject tonight, so I'm kind of counting on you guys to steer the conversation a little bit. Kind of already went through my trades, went through my journal a little bit. Don't really know what else to go through. Went through my layout. Nobody really, I asked you guys if you like my layout. Nobody really said anything. Ignoring me, all that good stuff. Yeah. Play with, let's see. I don't really have, maybe I'll just tell you guys how sad I am. And just that I really want you guys to like me. It means the world to me. Oh, okay. Sorry. When you're starting your Rocket League gaming channel, that is not a 2020 goal. My 2020 goal, don't try to copy my layout. Jerk. No, I'm just kidding. Here, we've tried this in the past. I can actually send it to you. I just need to remember where it is. In the Discord. You're not in the Discord. Where are you at? You make me scroll all the way down to find you. So let's see. We go here. There you go. Try pasting that into your folder where it opens, where your setups are, and it should theoretically bring this up. It's worked in the past, so hopefully it'll work for you. Yeah, well, it's on there, just so you know. So my goal in 2020, my major goal, is just to advance, become consistently profitable. It's really what it comes down to. I want to be able to make consistent profit. Like I want to get to a point where I'm making my goal, quota, whatever you want to call it, for the day, at least 3 out of the 5 days, and kind of stop being scared. I think that's really the main one. It's something that I've always had an issue with, is if I take some losers, I tend to keep those in the back of my head for the next trades. And I really need to focus on not letting that happen. I need to have a trade like this on BILI, like this second trade. Like if that was one of the first trades, just realize that it sucks, but it's going to happen, right? You're going to basically top tick some stops, right? I stopped out and that was the top. So it sucked, right? But it happens. I need to get over those immediately and move on and look for different opportunities. Obviously this was later in the day a little bit, so I kind of just ended my day there. But if I would have cleared my head right away, I could have been like, okay, instead of being frustrated that I got stopped out, I could have jumped right back in and took the small loss, but then made a nice big gain, especially with a good risk to reward, because my stop would have been right there at the top again. So it would have been like 8-10 cents, but I was looking for over 30 cents of profit. So it really made no sense for me not to jump back in there. But because I was so frustrated and emotional about getting stopped out, kind of bit me in the ass. So that's one of my big goals, is to emotionally like end a trade and just nix it. I need to learn how to do that. So that is definitely one of my goals. And my long-term goal for all of 2020 is to hopefully be to a point where I could go to a broker in the US without the PDT rule. That would be one of my end goals for the end of the year. So essentially that would mean I have made close to $20,000. So that, if you guys are looking for like a monetary value on the account, that's kind of what I'm shooting for. Sorry, I'm late to the party tonight. How much did you have in your account when you left your job? $5,000. I put $5,000 into the account. But I didn't really leave my job. I didn't really have a job when I started this. My job is, I actually am a stay-at-home dad. I used to work for the local government. I was there for 10 years. And I actually, when we had our second kid, we had them close together. So one wasn't in school by the time we had the other one. And until they're 4.5, 5 or whatever, they're not in like free school. That might sound like preschool, but they're not in like regular school, like pre-K, kindergarten, all that good stuff. So you have to pay to send them to like a pre-learning school, like daycare or whatever you want to call it. But it costs so much to send them there, and it costs so much just to have childcare in general, that it made more sense for me to quit my job and stay home with the kids and raise them myself. Because by the time you took my paycheck at the end of the month, like if you took my monthly gross, or not even my gross, but just my bring home, I was making an extra $100 for the whole month after paying for childcare. So it made no sense to me to basically work 40 hours a week at a job I didn't like in the first place to let someone else raise my kids. So I said, screw this. Me and the wife sat down. We kind of talked about it, and her job had much better chances of advancement as far as like pay and just advancement in general. So we discussed who was going to stay home, and it kind of ended up just being me, because working for the local government, there's not really much room for advancement. And when you do, the pay is not that great. The only thing that was really good about working for local government is the time off, as well as the benefits, like the health insurance benefits. So we actually did weigh that into the conversation as well. But in the long run, we knew that she could make a lot more money than I could, like a lot more money. And so that's the route that we took. And so I kind of was home with the kids for over a year, and I was playing Rocket League. Funny that should be brought up. And one of the guys that I played Rocket League with a lot, he was in college for finance, and he was always talking about the stock market. And one day, he just randomly linked me to a Ricky Gutierrez YouTube video. And I ended up watching it, and I was like, wait a minute. This isn't good. Sue, what do you mean it's not showing? Let me know in Discord. And so I was like, what's up with the stock market? You know, I've always thought it was kind of a rich man's game, which in a sense it is. And I was confused to how he was doing what he was doing. So I started to look more into it, and I came across Ross Cameron with Warrior Trading as I was doing my due diligence, my research, all that good stuff. And so now I'm in the wormhole, right? Ricky Gutierrez and Ross Cameron. Those were the two people that I found first. So when those are the two that you find first, you get sucked right in, right? They're showing you how easy it is. They're showing you the benefits of being able to trade, the cars, the traveling, whatever. The thing that appealed to me the most, obviously, was the traveling and just the financial freedom. Because when I first started this, the only thing I could think of was just being able to take my kids wherever, whenever, like thinking when they're in school and they get their summer vacations a little bit later in life, being able to just pack up and go somewhere, right? And it doesn't matter. So that was kind of what really drew me to this. And knowing that I can make, on the smallest scale, $50 in the matter of an hour and call it a day. Like if you really wanted to, that just blew my mind. When I was working with the government, I was making, I think when I quit, I was making like $160 a day. And yeah, that's right. About $160. Actually, I think it was a little bit more. It was like 160, 170. I don't remember. It was somewhere around there. But, and that was bring home. That was bring home. But regardless, I'm realizing that you can make that in like an hour, and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want, right? So it's, to me, that, and you can make it in a half hour. Like it's really how you trade, the way that you want to trade, the way that works for you when it comes to trading. Some people like to be in longer trades, but I mean, look at this. This was at the bell on BILI. If this is 500 shares instead of 50, which eventually, obviously, we plan for it to be, and we do get that breakdown under 21, I mean, we're done for the day, right? And that's a lot more than $200. So you're talking almost $500 if you get down to that 2040 area. But even at like 2060, I mean, you're still talking over, $400, over $400. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it's hard for me to want to go back to a normal job at this point, because I know that if I just dedicate myself to this and I figure out how the pros are doing it, and they, because they're doing it, right? I'm not saying Ross and Ricky are the pros. I think Ross is definitely very experienced, and you could call him a professional in his little niche that he has. But he definitely gets some help, I will say. And Ricky, I don't know what to think about Ricky. He's very in and out on. I don't know. He's never really verified himself. I'm not saying he's fake, but I'm sure there's days that he doesn't post what happens. So that's kind of, the more and more I got into like doing my research on YouTube, the more and more I found these same channels over and over again, where it was just people that would kind of post whatever they wanted to post, when they wanted to post it, when it most benefited them to post it. And there was never a channel that I could find where it just felt legit in the overall sense. There's so many channels out there that I just feel are just a sham, right? So I'm not going to name any of them, obviously, but that's what I'm just getting to the point of why I started my channel throughout my process. I was like, man, I really wish when I started trading, I had a channel that I could go to and just learn from, and know that what I'm being told is strictly out of the pure sense of wanting to learn and continue to get better, like continuing our education, wanting to figure out how to become financially free in the stock market while I'm not being sold something, right? That's what I say it all the time. I'm not here to sell you anything. So when somebody brings up like, what scanner are you using? What CMEG, you're offering the promo with CMEG 295 trades or whatever. The reason that those are there is they're tools. They're tools that I have the ability to offer you at a discounted price, because that's what I use and believe in. I use CMEG on a daily basis. That's what this is. It's my platform. The fact that I could help just by having this YouTube channel get you 295 trades instead of 395 trades, every time you hit that button, it's $1 less. That's the point behind it. Yes, of course, I'm affiliated with that because that's how affiliations work. But I can tell you right now, the money that you get from them for, people signing up, it's not what you guys think. The same with the scanners. The scanners, yeah, of course, I'm affiliated with them. But I still have to pay for the scanners just like you guys. Of course, there's a kickback if you sign up for me through the scanners. But the reason I talk about the scanners as much as I do is because of how much I believe in them. You don't ever see me go out of my way to push the scanners. But if somebody brings up the scanners, I could go on about the scanners for hours. And I think one time I did, but it was because I believe in it so much, not because I'm trying to sell you. So that's kind of the broad basis of how we kind of ended up where we are, especially with the channel itself. And I do think, people tell me this all the time, especially my wife. My wife tells me all the time, because I tell her, I'm like, I don't know how it grew so fast. And I was expecting, in the first year, I started this back in February, I figured by the end of the year, I'd maybe luckily get to 500 subscribers. And that was like if I really grinded it out, which I've posted over 300 videos, which is crazy now that I think about it. But, she says, why did you start the channel? And I just told you guys why I started the channel. I started the channel because I wanted to start a channel that isn't out there. I'm one of a kind at this point. I'm somebody that's going out of my way to be as honest and transparent about everything that I can be. And she said, well, there you go. That's why you grew so fast. And when you're doing something and you're caught up in the moment, you don't always realize what's happening. And I didn't realize that, hey, maybe people are appreciating the fact that I'm giving them something that no one else is, right? So that's when I hear that from other people, because she's not the only one that said that, but to hear it from others, it makes you realize, okay, I am doing something right. Let's keep doing it, right? Because that was the whole premise of the channel in the first place. It's working. Let's keep it going. Let's build off of that. Let's build that trust with everyone that comes to this channel. And if you guys have seen my intro, that's basically what I say. If you're looking for a place that's completely honest and transparent about everything, then you've come to the right place. So that's my little spiel on that. So obviously you guys are sitting here listening. There wasn't much typing going on, but and it all stemmed from Benjamin B's question of when I left my job. Sue says, my story is so similar to yours, it's crazy. The script you shared with me opened, but the screens are blank. What do you mean the screens are blank? Like the charts are blank? The only thing I could think of is maybe because it's on like my second monitor. I don't know if you're only on one monitor setup. Maybe it tried to post it on a separate monitor. On top of all that, what do you guys have planned for the weekend? Anything good? I think we finally have a weekend where we're gonna kind of relax. So this is pretty cool. I was looking at tomorrow, since I obviously won't be streaming tomorrow in the morning. See if it messes it up. So for the weekend, this is a very good one. I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek of it since we're so close anyway. Don't despise the small things. So keep that in mind over the weekend. Kind of run into something. If it's something small, just realize it, right? Small things. I always say, there's a good saying that if you take care of the small things, the big things will take care of themselves. So if you're despising all of them little small things, it's going to make the bigger picture kind of suck, right? So take care of the little things. Just let them go if it's something that's kind of pesky. But obviously, again, like if you have a 2-minute job around the house, do it, right? Do the 2-minute job. Clean the dishes. Take the trash out. Whatever the little 2-minute job is. See a little poop inside the toilet? Clean it. Clean it. If your kid pees around the toilet, clean it. Do those things. It makes the bigger picture much better. Yes, thank you, Benjamin. That was a good, actually, it felt good to kind of express that I haven't actually gave that story in a while, and actually felt like it came out a little bit better that time too. That's the other thing I like to think too, is a lot of what these channels show you, they're not doing these live streams, right? They're not doing, the heart to hearts, I guess is really one way to say it. They're more so hiding behind ideas and editing and all that good stuff, where everything you pretty much see with me is raw, right? You guys see the trades in the morning. I can't really hide anything for you. You're seeing the real emotion of me trading. You're seeing everything that there is when it comes to me trading. That's all. I mean, I don't really know any other way to put it. But I've actually, I'm drawing some blanks, running out of things to talk about. So unless you guys start asking me some questions or chiming in here, we might have to call it an early night. I'm starting to get really hungry too. So that's not a good thing. Like looking around for inspiration. Ooh, ah. Won't you say? Anybody having a light bulb moment? I'm such a, I don't even know what to say. I'm such a dork. Tip your bell, man. I like it. That was kind of funny because I just played that. Will GDT like you this year? I don't think so. I don't think GDT has ever liked me. Maybe if I offer him some pepperoni. I didn't come up with my short strategy. It's definitely a strategy from Team ISW. So I definitely would give Brian over at Team ISW credit for the strategy. But it's basically just a 1-1-2 strategy where I've kind of modified it a little bit recently just to test it out. See you, Tom. It's so weird that it's not playing. Here, I'll play it for you.
These nuts.
I'll have to figure that out later. But essentially, you're looking for these big parabolic moves, and we find them right off the scanners, right? The scanners tell us everything. So when we get the big move, we look to start the short when we feel like it's done. And then if it continues, you can hit it again for the second one. And if it continues even further, keep in mind this is all in the same move, you can hit it for that last one. So essentially, you're getting full size through a 1-1-2 situation. So say it's 400 shares is your size. You break that down into 100, 100, 200. And that's how you would enter into the position. Instead of just hitting 400 at one spot, it rips against you, and now you're kind of screwed, right? So the idea is to average into it and then hit it pretty hard at the what you're assuming to be the top, because the whole premise behind this strategy is that the stronger the move, the weaker the trend, right? So the bigger the move that we get all at once, the odds are it can't just keep continuing up, especially when it's not a lower float. Now, when you get something like SAVA, that all kind of gets thrown out the window because lower floats can be very manipulated. And when you get some of the bigger players in the picture, they can just keep going straight up. We've seen it tons of times in the past. Ships, Hunt, Dries, like all those low float tickers that you've seen like go up to $100, over $100. What was the pot stock? Tilray. That was a low float. So that's why we don't play low floats here. I used to play them, but the longer you're in the game, the more you realize that low floats are very risky. I always say if you're looking to play low floats in the stock market, just go down to your local convenience store and just pick up some lottery tickets, because to me, that's essentially what you're doing. People try to predict these, and it's impossible to figure out how to predict them. Most money you've made on a trade so far? Good question. Let's see. I can just go into my journal and tell you. It's not that much. And it was before, this is back when I was trading stupid share size. So here's my biggest trades, which was actually a long on NCTY, which is a low floater. But as you can see, this was back October 19th, 2018. And NUA was the first day I ever traded, but this was at the end of the trading day after I had already lost $1,300 on the first day trying to trade like Ross. Just to give you an insight. But yeah, August 21st was my first trading day ever of 2018. And so, yeah, if it wasn't for NUA, that first day would have really hurt. It would have sucked very badly. But just to give you guys some reference, just to show you, over the course, I started back in August of last year, and this is what my chart looks like, my overall. They're working on, TraderSync's working on making this a line chart, but for now, I mean, look, my first two, this is essentially the first 2 days. So it was around like 1350 that I lost, and then I got some back there with NEWA. And then as you can see, again, I was trading like 1,000 shares and stuff like that. Just like an idiot, 500 to 1,000 shares pretty much every trade. So the swings were pretty big. And then I tried swing trading for a little bit. I switched over to interactive brokers. I actually went under the PDT rule to kind of slow down, just to kind of, because I realized that this wasn't sustainable. I was getting lucky. I was like literally hitting the button where it was a 50-50 trade and just hoping. And I was winning fairly decently, but it wasn't sustainable. Swing trading, that didn't work out, as you can tell. I went back to regular trading, and I ran into OCX, and this was right before I switched over to the new strategy. So I took a big loss in OCX, grinded it all the way back up to above break even in the account, and this is when I found MTSI. So from right here all the way up to here, I actually had 28 green trades in a row, and this is with the new strategy. I felt like I couldn't lose. So I started to scale up a little bit with my position size, and literally the second day I scaled up, I ran into MTSI. And I had never really had a chart like MTSI with the new strategy, and I ended up fighting it pretty much all morning, and it took me to the cleaners for close to like $1,000. And then I grinded all the way back up, and I actually, after this trade, if you'll notice, the whole month of June is missing. So see, it goes from May 23rd right to July 1st. I took the whole month of June off to paper trade and to figure out how to not let this happen again with MTSI. And this is kind of what happened. I grinded myself back up, and we looked like we figured it out, right? Anytime that we did have a loser, it was kind of just like a little blip, right? A little blip in the radar. And then we ran into LYV. So let's go take a look at LYV real quick. LYV was just a mistake on my part in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, real quick, let's go back. I'll show you the first day ever. Look at those. TNXP, big loser. And look at after the commissions. Look at these commissions I had on these trades. That was with SureTrader. JMU. I mean, look at the share size I was trading. I had a 2,250 share position on that trade. Like, and that was fairly normal. Like, I was trading these lower price stocks, 2,500 shares. Like, what was I doing? And that was my first day ever. I'm trading 2,500 shares. What? This is why I wish I would have found a channel like mine to keep me away from doing this stuff. But anyways, let's find LYV real quick. So LYV, look at all these tickets, right? Obviously something went wrong. What went wrong is I got into this way early, and I started it with pretty small share size. I think it was 25. No, I started with 50. So that was mistake number one, right? Mistake number one was starting this thing with 50 shares, because if you look at my chart, me this is my reference chart, right? So we look at how far the move has went, and then this is kind of the share size that we go for to get. This is obviously just I keep wanting to say a base, not an example. This is basically a template. No. Basically what is supposed to happen, like the probabilities of it happening. So if it makes a 4-point move, we're looking for the entry to be 25 shares, so that if it were to move another 2 points, at the first point we would add 25 shares, and then at the second point we would add the 50 shares to get 100 shares total. And by the time it gets up to that point, if it wants to break that point, we would be down $100. So that's the premise behind this, is however we enter the trade with the 1-1-2 strategy, we would look to lose a max of $100 on the trade. So if it moves 4 points, 25 shares, right? So let's take a look. This move started at 64. We entered at 67. So if that chart at 3 points, it was 35 shares. So we should have started with no more than that. And on top of that, it was an afternoon trade, which obviously came out of nowhere. So obviously it's good news. So in reality, we should have started it even less. So at least 25 shares or whatever. But again, just like MTSI, I was overconfident, right? I was winning. We were making big moves, and these are the types of moves sometimes you see in the afternoons, and they come straight back down, right? But this wasn't the case. Not only did it go up even higher, but then it just consolidated up at the highs, and it really kind of got us. But the mistake was not all of this. Like, yes, it sucked. I started with too much share size. I started too heavy, and we added quite a bit. But if you noticed, instead of doing the 1-1-2, I kind of turned it into a 1-1-1-1, kind of like Clay Trader style per se. And we're just looking for this thing to break down towards VWAP, right? Like when we got these ads in here, if it would have at 69, right under 69, if this would have broke down, we would have been fine, right? Like, so I was mad at myself not for all of this, because once we realized we kind of messed up, yes, the loss would have been a little bit bigger. But when it reclaimed 69 here, or actually just went high of day through 69, we should have cut it, right? That right there was the mistake. So I went back and did the math. It would have been like, I think it was like $330 was the loss if I would have cut it right here. But instead, we decided to try to fight it. And so we started adding up top, and we started taking some of our position off on the dips. Added up top, and then we started to take some off when we finally got this dip, and then we eventually just got out of the whole position over here. So very frustrating just how I played it. My emotions got to me. Obviously this thing just kind of took off on us. So I wouldn't say we were necessarily a deer in headlights. A deer in headlights would have probably just had these first 3 entries and just kind of watched and just let it keep going without ever covering your position. But we realized we made the mistake, and we tried to keep hammering it, and we just made the mistake of not cutting it there at 69. And this actually ended up getting up to a point where we were down close to $1,000 again. But thankfully, kind of trying to keep a level head and playing it the way that we did, we only ended up losing, what was it, like seven something? Which obviously isn't that much better, but what was it? Yeah, 720. So, and that pretty much took all of our profits away and kind of brought us back down to square one here with the overall trading. And then to end and start the new year, we're stacking up some red trades. But if you look at my trades from yesterday, I was really happy with those trades because of the outcome. Why is it not coming up? I clicked the wrong thing. That's why. So we had 4 losers. We had 2 on BILI. We had 1 on HUYA and 1 on STNE. But if you notice, they were all within reason, right? They were all And even the first one, like look at the difference in this chart when I kind of did the same thing. I started it early. We hit the top. It consolidated, and it didn't want to give us the breakdown. So we cut it at high of day, right? That's what the strategy calls for. And we tried it again later in the day. Got in, hit the top. We actually got out some just to reduce the risk, and then we cut it at high of day. Unfortunately, obviously, that was a little bit of a fake out when it went high of day. And that was kind of the topic of that day as well, was we kept getting stopped out pretty much at the top for the day, which is very annoying, but it's part of it, right? I think HUYA was the other one. Yeah. So this one stopped us out and then tried to come back lower, but this one actually did end up going higher. And I think STNE did kind of the same thing. So that is kind of how my overall journey has been. Yeah, you only have one monitor. Well, what you can do, Sue, does it show up down the bottom? Like when you come down to your CMEG button down here and all these come up, do all of these come up? Because if they do, what you can actually do is click on one of these and then, is it Windows? Yeah. So if you hold down your Windows key and hit your arrow keys, you should be able to actually bring it over. Or is it? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you hit your Windows key and hold over, it'll actually allow you to move the chart. Have you blown up an account before, or is this still the same account you started with? Yeah, all of those are up but are blank. That's weird that they would be blank. Maybe because we're not in market hours. Maybe try. Can you even like see the montage? If you can see the montage, try typing something like a ticker into it and see if it comes up. And hopefully I answered your question about blowing up. I never technically blew up an account, but we got pretty close. Because, real quick, just to show you too, if you look at the overall, this chart is just the trading. So the overall trading. This isn't including commissions, fees, platform fees, scanner fees. It doesn't include all of that. So this is just your trading. This is with commissions. So we're technically actually down 28.01, which is a lot of people call it tuition, right? You go to college, you pay for your courses. You start out trading, pay tuition. That's what a lot of people call it. Excuse me. So hopefully I answered all your questions. We have anything else? You guys want to go over something specifically? Anybody have a chart that they want to go over specifically, a trade that they made that they want to talk about? If not, we'll kind of give this to 11 o'clock, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm actually, surprisingly, still really tired. It was a really long day today with the kiddo. And it's always fun Friday pizza nights with the fam. The family. I always thought that was such a silly thing to say, fam, and now I catch myself saying it all the time. It's funny how that works. Excuse me. I feel like this was like kind of like a biography stream, more so than a stream to really kind of help you guys out. I feel like we didn't really like discuss any technical aspects of anything. It just kind of went over my trades per se. So usually we get a couple of your trades in here and there. Dun, 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 dun. starting to think my the YouTube ticker viewer thing is lying. It's like stuck on 9, but the other thing only says there's 3 people. So who really knows? NVCN, that's a lower float, isn't it? NVCN. Usually I have my scanners up, but I don't have them up right now. Gave me NVIDIA. NVCN. 36. I'm pretty sure this is. I feel like I've seen this one before. Yeah, 6.66 mil float. That's scary. I was just looking at it on Yahoo Finance real quick. 6.66. That'd be one reason to stay away from it. Let's see. See if I can guess your trade. I used to do that a lot, where I would say, give me a ticker and see if I could guess your trade. You had a big loser on paper. Was it today? The only thing I could possibly see when you're looking for this to hold support and you held onto a long position down into this wash, but I don't really like there was really never any volume. The range on this wasn't really great. Okay, that would make a lot more sense. Let's scroll back. Yeah, was it pre-market? I feel like you wouldn't have traded the second half of this, so let's zoom in a little bit more. Ooh, the old typical curve and go, and it failed. Wonder if that's where you got in. Like over here, looking for it to break through this $9 area. Yeah, these things. This is why I don't play low floaters. A lot of people probably saw the same thing. The dip at the open kind of held, actually made lower or higher lows, started to curl up, made a big intense move, looking to get through this key area here around 880 through $9 and back up to pre-market highs. And look at what it actually did. Went from 865 right down to 729 that quick, and it actually kept going all the way down to 654. This is exactly why you don't play low floats. Of moves just like this. The only way you can play low floats is, say you're looking for this move to happen. So you get in like down here, right? You get on like the second candle, and you're risking off the bottom of this candle. So 675. Say you get in for like the break of 7, looking for it to continue, and you're risking off 675. Then you could play, like, that's how you play low floaters. You play them with as least amount of risk as possible. But if you're buying on this candle, you're a little bit behind on trading, because let me show you something real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. If you have any additional questions, man, you can just hit me up on Discord. I'm always there, unless I'm sleeping, obviously. So we call this the intensity blueprint. It's pretty much what you see any given day. So we're going to start right here. So we had the panic. Like, let's actually just drag it. So we had the panic here on NVCN. Right here, right out of the gate, right? And we're going to kind of loop through this. So we had that at the gate. So capitalization. Holy crap. Basically where you have your maximum upside. So you get the panic sell. The buyers that most likely are manipulating the stock, since it's a low floater, this is where they're buying their shares, right? They kind of find a support level, pick a support level, and they kind of stop it there. And plus, throughout all of the selling, you've kind of ran out of sellers to push it down even further. So now it starts to come back up, and you get the hope the relief, some people that may still be in it. And then you start to get optimism, and then it just starts over. So let's look at that aspect of it. So that's where this is coming up. It's starting to curl, right? We're right in this area where I said you should buy if you're looking to play low floats, right around kind of the hope relief / optimism phase. Then we get into the excitement and the thrill, right? So now this candle here, you can see the volume starts coming in, the excitement starts to form. People start to say, okay, this thing isn't done yet. We're gonna curl and we're gonna start going. Then the thrill starts to happen. We get through VWAP. Holy crap. We're going to make a run towards that 880 area, and we might go high. We might try to get up there towards pre-market high day. And then the extreme intensity kicks in, and this is where the euphoria stage sets in. And when you hit that euphoria, what usually happens? The stronger the move, the weaker the trend. You get, and we'll just look at them, anxiety, denial, fear, desperation, panic, right? And that's exactly what happens. You get up to the euphoria stage and it just gets slammed, right? So this is obviously a perfect case for what I'm trying to tell you, but this happens more often than you would think. And the fact that it's a low floater, I always say low floaters can kind of do whatever they want. My battery on my light just died. I haven't charged it in a really long time. But if it's a low floater, it can be very manipulated. So this thing very well could have went through $9 and continued up through 12. But the odds are you had a bunch of people with bigger money that kind of stopped this thing because they knew that if they made it look like it was going back up, you're going to get a bunch of people coming back into this thing looking for it to make that big move up. And so when it hits that key area, they knew the liquidity was going to be there, looking to push up through that area, and they sell, right? And then once it gets held down because of them selling, they probably sell off the rest of their shares on the way back down because that's just, they can get rid of all their shares. Everyone that was buying into this is now underwater, so they start, selling their shares, and then that's why it always ends up going a little bit lower, and it's dead for the rest of the day. That's just what happens. So, unfortunately, people, get tricked into playing these all the time, and it's frustrating. That's another reason that I made the channel, is to just try to get people away from playing these low floats. Because sure, all it takes, right? Say you got in and you FOMO'd into this at $8.50 and it went to $12. Congratulations. You just made 4 points on your money if you held that long. But guess what? Most of the time, it's not going to happen. This is what's going to happen over and over and over again. So every once in a while, sure, you're going to get it. It's going to be like having an addiction to something, right? You go a long time without it, but all you need is that one time, right? You need that one time where you get your fix and you're like, oh, I know this can happen over and over again. I know I can keep doing this. And it just, that's why 90%, the quote unquote 90% fail, because they're convinced that they can keep doing it and they can't. So that's that in a nutshell. It's because it's not that I'm good. It's just that I have the experience now. I've been through it. I used to trade these, so I know that that's what happens. I'm not just reading this out of a textbook. I'm using my actual experience to try to help others. And thankfully, you did it on paper, right? Thankfully, you're learning these lessons on paper. I didn't, so there is that. I say flush the low floaters. I agree. Brian is working on it, the maker of ISW, of actually putting a filter into the scanners so that if you want to filter the low floats out of the scanners, you can. So I'm actually pretty happy for that, because it'll be nice to kind of get rid of the super low floaters so I'm not listening to them go off all day, because they make really intense moves all the time throughout the day. So they're constantly going off in my ear. So like when I'm away from the computer, just wearing my headphones, I hear something go off and I run back to my computer in case it's something I want to play, and it's just another low floater being stupid. I sent you my newbie screenshot mistake. Ooh. Wait, did you? Hold on, let me look at this correctly. So you got in, got out. So that was the winner. That was actually a pretty big winner. Then you got in, you added, added some more. Oh, and you held that thing. Ouchie. Exactly. And I'm not making fun of you. It's just, and again, I'm glad this was on paper. But when people say that they're bag holders, this is exactly what they're talking about. Exactly what we're talking about. So you bought, let's see, at 9:45. So you actually bought down here. So you were trying to buy the dip. And you bought it. Oh no, that can't be right. Or wait, yeah, 7:35. Let's just do it this way. So yeah, you bought down here. I think you just tried to average down. Or I missed one. So you bought, your first one was on this candle at 8:13. So you were trying the old dip and rip. Then you average down. Then you average down even bigger, down at 667. Down here. So you should have at least been kind of break even towards the end of the day there. Why didn't you take, did you take any off there? Well, I guess you obviously didn't. But being on paper, I guess you don't have to. That's the other beauty of paper trading, is you have no emotion behind the actual money at risk. Vincenzo, will you review other trades this year? What do you mean? Like what trades? Like my past trades? I review my past trades a lot. I like to think that going back and looking at your past trades, you can learn a lot from them. So I tend to try to do that as much as possible. I even started my journal as well. So I highly recommend starting a journal if you don't already have one. Like I have the one online, but anytime I have a loser, I go to the handwritten journal and I really kind of write it out, because when you write things, they tend to stick a little bit better. So if you have a decent loser, you go back and you kind of write a journal entry about it, draw the chart out with your hand. It'll really kind of make you remember it. Yeah, negative 7.1K after another. Yeah, it's a bit of a downer. No, of course, everybody thinks it's going to ride back up to the high. That's the whole point of the dip and rip. And that's the only bad thing, like just to show you, when you're, just to zoom in on this, when you're buying there at 8:13? When you're buying here at 8:13, what is your risk? Like, where are you risking off of? Like, there's no obvious support until down here at 670. So you're looking for this to go high of day, sure. But even if it does go high of day, are you going to hold it for a whole 1.5 points until you take any kind of profit? The odds are no. Like, you're probably going to take some profit before that. So if you're not willing to risk, and that's just 1-to-1, right? That's only a 1-to-1 risk on a low float that can dump like this at any given time. So you're probably doing like with this like 0.5 to 1 risk reward ratio on a low floater, that the odds are it can do this all the time. So like, let that sink in a little bit. Like, to me, there is just no benefit to buying a dip, especially on something that ripped like this, especially to that key area right here at 880, right? People were looking for this to go through. So the fact that it rejected, that would kind of be even more reason to avoid it. because usually the only way that these work is if it does go through. And maybe in the future, let it come down and try to curl, like find a base, hopefully at like VWAP, and then try to curl back up again. And then that's when you would get in. Don't just catch the falling knife, as a lot of people would say in this scenario. Ooh. But with that said, I think I'm going to get out of here. Vincenzo, you know where to find me. Sue, you also know where to find me now. I'm getting tired, believe it or not, and I would like to try to get some sleep. So hopefully we got some good conversation in here tonight. Any additional questions, comments, you guys can hit me up Twitter, Discord. You can leave them on this video when it's finally done processing. Also, don't forget, Sue, since you're new, we still have the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. It's also, I'll actually post a link to it. We're giving away 2 weeks of the ISW scanners, which is the team package. So you get the 2 chat rooms and the full-on scanner package, the platinum scanners for 2 weeks, and then the TraderSync trading journal that I've been using all night. We are also giving away 3 pro accounts. So each one of those, if you want to look at it real quick, TraderSync. So if we go to the pricing, it's pro accounts for a year. So $30 a month normally. So for a whole year, that's $360 for a whole year we're giving away. And we're giving away 3 accounts. So that's over $1,000 that we're giving away just in the TraderSync journals. And the ISW scanners, just being in the room with us, with Team ISW for 2 weeks, that is just priceless. You can learn so much in the matter of 2 weeks from everybody in there. So with that, guys, I am going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and I will, I guess, hopefully catch you guys Monday morning. Until then, peace.